back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we're focused on Star Trek, the original series, iconic episode, Arena.
Yay!
Arena.
I just got done watching it. I was streaming it off of gornhub.com.
There's so many jokes.
Actually, I watched it a couple of hours ago. Literally, when you messaged me earlier, Sohail, you said, "Oh, you're going to do this?" I'm actually watching it right now.
Who's going to do the summary? And especially today, it can't be me because I forgot to send the tweet and also switch something from one computer to the other. So I have to let you guys make it show. So who wants to do the summary since you guys watched it just fresh?
I can do it.
Yes. All right, go for it. Make it show, Father.
So this episode opens with Kirk and McCoy and the Enterprise crew going to Cestus 3, a planet that has a base. And when they get there, they find out that it has been attacked by an unknown enemy. And they have a little skirmish on the planet's surface, and they end up pursuing this alien ship that is going back into unexplored space. They have no idea who this could be or why they attacked. And eventually this ship is stopped. It just mysteriously stops from high warp to no movement at all. The Enterprise is about to catch up to it, and then the Enterprise is forced out of warp and is also stopped. And they encounter an advanced alien intelligence. It's the Metrons, right? This is the one with the Metrons.
That is correct.
Yeah, so the Metrons are like, no, y'all can't be fighting each other. We're going to tell you what, we're going to take the captain of both these ships, and you can duke it out here, back on the surface of the planet. And so he pulls Kirk off of the Enterprise and then places him out in the desert at Vasquez Rock next to this reptilian creature. And this is the Gorn, the captain of the Gorn ship. This is the introduction of the Gorn. And so Kirk has to battle this strong, scary-looking monster of a creature, but it's also intelligent, and they have to outsmart each other and use their surroundings to try to get the better of each other. And eventually, Kirk pieces together that he can construct a weapon out of some of the sulfur and make like this little bamboo cannon that launches diamonds, and he shoots the Gorn with it. And right before he goes to finish him off with like a final blow to the head, he's like, no, this is like an intelligent creature, and we're only at odds because there is a misunderstanding. They thought Cestus 3 was their planet. We trespassed, and you know what? I'm not gonna kill him. And this impresses the Metrons, who's like, oh, you're capable of understanding the advantages of making peace, and that violence isn't always the answer. That's a good sign for humanity. Maybe when you evolve even more in thousands of years, we can be friends. And that's the moral of the story and the end of the episode. Wow,
that was a great summary. That was like it got everything, actually.
It's a little bit more brisk than your summaries.
Yeah, it was really nice. My summary would have gone on forever.
Yours would be like they'd still be on Cestus 3 before they beam back up.
All right, I think I figured this out. So my first thing I guess we'll talk about is, first of all, this is for me. I didn't realize how exciting this episode. I mean, you have a whole action sequence on Cestus 3 with a destroyed base, and it's like an outdoor set. Like they're actually at a location, which was really cool. And then you have a chase scene through space, and then you have this like the Metron thing happen. And then you have a whole like battle of the wits on a planet. It's just like, it's like a movie. It was a really good episode. I was very impressed with it. I guess just start sharing your thoughts. What did you guys think of it?
I love this one.
Yeah, this is one of, but this is up there as one of the better ones, definitely. I think it's one of the few times you actually see them outside, not in a studio, not giving the action outside. So yeah, that's for me is always a good one.
Yeah, that whole sequence was great with the landing party, and they had the cool like what is that called when you shoot bombs out of that cylinder?
Or grenade launcher type thing.
Is it?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah,
mortar.
Yeah.
mortar,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah.
think
The blue balls that were grenade.
the blue,
Yeah.
they're tossing some blue balls out there. But there's like actually like when I now Ian sent this cool video comparing like the remastered versus all there's like a few versions of it. So
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting to look at. But in the final remastering, like they fixed a couple things like in the outdoor shots and stuff like that. But ultimately, like it's still like they hardly changed like the explosion over the the mountainous area and like how they all reacted to it, and you see like they have like light burns on their faces. It was very good. Like I was very impressed with all of that.
Yeah,
And I
I
wish
mean,
we'd seen more mortar type warfare. I wish we'd seen more of this kind of like warfare in Star Trek. Everything's like all phasers later on.
yeah. To be honest, I mean, it wipes out quite a large area. So I think it would be quite a quick show if they were to do that. You know, we go down there, we use them, bomb. Okay, we're done. Oh, Vasquez Rock. There we go.
There we go. I'm gonna share. I downloaded a few photos for this one from the internet, but I'm having trouble. Hold on. All right, here we go. I think this will work. All right. Hide sidebar. There we go. Now you already saw what images I'll be bringing up. Speaking of sharing stuff, Father does a great job at this on Text Trek. So if you ever want to see the latest and greatest Star Trek episode being discussed and reviewed, and lots of other fun stuff, we have a lot of laughs on there as well. Go check out Text Trek on Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I sounded like an ad. I can do.
Yeah, do I have to like
It's
pay you now for advertising?
No, you don't have to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know the story with this location they shot at? Like this was made for a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like some movie that like they canceled production on it or something. They just had like this location left over.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No,
Well, that's.
no,
I mean, they did that a lot anyway. I mean, they throughout Star Trek, they've always reused other set lots to do that with, like the cowboy, cowboy sets, all that type of thing. They've always reused other bits from the backlot on there.
I guess that's true. We have here we go. Where is this? We have the guy getting disintegrated.
Mm.
In this episode. Oh, EGT's in the audience there. That's cool. Hey, EGT.
Oh.
Hey, guys. Love this episode. Sorry I couldn't join. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful discussion. Oh, thank you. And enjoy your festivities, sir.
All right, let me tell you something that I just pulled off of Memory Alpha. I'd forgotten of this. The remains of the Cestus 3 outpost was actually a fort constructed for a film about the Alamo in the 1930s.
Yes.
It was believed to be unsafe and was demolished in the late 60s. And that came from the Star Trek Encyclopedia.
That's pretty cool. I did not realize that. I think there's like so many. It would be neat to. Some people like to revisit these like filming locations. Like some people. I think Gary, who's on Trekker Prize, went to the reclamation plant where Starfleet Academy. Is it Starfleet Academy or Starfleet Headquarters
Both.
is located? Oh,
I
it's
think
both of them.
they've used it. They've used it for there. He also went to Vasquez Rock as well.
He also went to Vasquez Rocks. I definitely want to make a pilgrimage to Vasquez Rocks.
Yeah.
That's like 100% on the list.
Yeah, it's super close to Los Angeles. It's like right outside of the city.
Oh, I wonder if we can get our LA friends to go with us then. That'd be cool, like Evan and some other folks.
I'm gonna go eventually. Antonia has a sister in California, and someday we're gonna go over there and see her. But I'm just gonna rent a car and just drive up and down California and go to all the stuff I want to see that's over there.
It's a really good idea, and it's all near there. Yeah, like you can go to the hills from that they used a lot in TNG when they went on outdoor locations and stuff like that.
And our friend Larry
near the
Nemechek
Hollywood sign
does those Trekland tours that where he'll actually
he does tours.
Yeah, he'll
He
take you
does,
to specific locations.
Oh,
He,
1,000% yes to that.
he even sets up tours for Star Trek Las Vegas. He does tours like that as well. So yeah, he's known for him. He sits there and he describes everything. So yeah, he's done that quite a few times.
What a mensch Larry is. That's very cool.
Yeah. I did a tour like that, not for Star Trek, unfortunately, but for another TV show for Game of Thrones. I was in Northern Ireland last year, and I went on a tour like a lot of the locations that they shoot at for that show.
That's amazing. That's a really cool. That's fun to do. Don't they also shoot in like Eastern Europe? Some of the stuff for Game of Thrones is also shot.
Most everything was in like the Belfast area.
Very cool. Captain RGD is here, and hello Stress Free K as well, and of course Vasquez Rocks Rock, which they do. If Starfleet is the Navy, like, what do you think Babylon 5 is? I don't know. I didn't watch Babylon 5 except for here and there, so I can't really say.
Babylon
Maybe
5
they're
is like the
Air
Navy
Force?
too.
They're also the Navy too? All right. Nice question. What? We answered you.
It's more like, well, I guess you could say it's more like the United Nations, maybe, because their thing was they're like a space station, like Deep Space Nine, but they had like an ambassador for every different like alien race had like an ambassador there, so it's kind of more like a United Nations.
Speaking of the United Nations, did you catch that on Memory Alpha they said this is the first mention of the Federation? It's not the United Federation of Planets yet, but they call it the Federation.
Yeah, the first mention of the Federation, not to be confused with the First Federation, which was mentioned in the Corbomite maneuver.
That's right, the First Federation.
I think we said on somebody on Twitter said it's the first time they've actually used that they couldn't transport with shields up.
Yes, I saw that too. I couldn't rewatch the episode, but I remember them saying that line, like Sulu had something to do with.
I thought they'd mentioned it previously, but obviously this was the first episode that they mentioned with shields up.
I can't remember a previous mention, Fathery.
Yeah,
and this also might be the first time where we get like warp drive numbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they're like warp 9, warp 8, sublight.
A lot of firsts on this episode. That's crazy.
Like I think in the cage it's like time warp factor 7 or like something like that, but it's like weird and different. This is where it was like the more normal use of the terminology that we're used to.
I thought the messaging also, like the whole concept of the colony being like that the Federation actually set up a colony without figuring out if the land belonged to anyone else, like, was a very interesting like kind of commentary on stuff that we did do during the imperialistic kind of like days of what would have been called here manifest destiny in the United States. Is that what we were calling it?
Yeah.
There's sorry, Fathery.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's a bit like when the Spanish and everything turn up in America and Mexico. Yep, okay, this is where we'll be. We'll set up here. Blow anybody that lives here. We'll set up here. Bugger that bit.
Apparently, Cestus 3 goes to Gorn control, but then in DS9 it's established that somehow Cestus 3 becomes a Federation colony again.
Right, there's Pike City. Named after Captain Pike, is on Cestus 3, and they have a baseball team, the Pike City Pioneers.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and there's a reference to Cestus 3 in Star Trek Discovery Season 2, when Leland and Captain Pike have a conversation, and one of the early episodes, and Leland says something about like, remember that time we were fighting alligators on Cestus 3 or something like that.
Oh, that's funny. Not alligators, though.
They might have been like baby Gorn, and that's what like the Gorn are pissed off. They're like, yeah, like you killed all of our babies at like our daycare.
Oh shit! That's probably
You
what
invaded the
caused-
nursery.
That's what caused the problem. Oh my gosh, totally. That's what caused the whole row. It's crazy. Oh wow. We've just figured it out on Starfleet Boy.
Yeah.
Love the Kirk Fu. There's a really great, yes, that's a good thing to reference is the Kirk Fu, because we do get like a lot of his signature moves.
Yeah.
That was the Gorn hegemony. How do you say it? Hegemony.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Calling you.
Yeah.
Spock mutinied in the menagerie. Do you think he learned it from Michael? Yes, I do. I do think so. I think it runs in the family, as a matter of fact. Oh, I'm supposed to turn in my nerd card. I'll go back and watch Babylon 5. I know that Walter Koenig's in it. Yeah. So, anyways, next is the chase scene. I really wished we had gotten more, like a better render. If you're gonna remaster it, give us a close up of the Gorn ship. We only really see it on the view screen.
Yeah,
from, like,
you have
really
to buy
far
the
away.
Eagle
That's, like-
Boss model.
Oh, is
Yeah.
there one? Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean the original one, you don't see anything. It's just a star field. You don't even see a ship. So in the original, TOS original and all those bits, you don't see anything. But I thought that was really good, because that really did set up tension. Because they'd be saying, because they're matching us, and then Kirk just keeps pushing it, and people on the bridge are looking at him as to say, do you really want to blow this ship up? And he's going, it's sort of, to hell with everything. We will catch them up. We will get them. It really does.
They're chasing the Gorn
Quite
across
personally.
the. What's that? Sorry.
I think Kirk takes it quite personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's a few times.
Oh,
in
he's
the
like
video
furious. Yeah.
he does.
Yeah, he's furious. And it's like interesting. I like the way Shatner performed it later when he realizes that it was they realized it on the ship first, but then when he realizes it himself, he kind of like starts to show compassion, which is cool.
Mm.
This is called the Metron colony, and it kind of supports my theory that what actually happened was the Metrons were having some kind of space party with their shiny togas, and this whole thing just like put a kink in the party, and so they were pissed off about it, and so they sent like the wallflower Metron, the one that doesn't really dance or anything, and they're like, go take care of this. we don't we want to get back to our go take
The
care
voice
of
you hear at
this.
the beginning, yeah, like when they first like interrupt the party, I guess. Is that the same voice that they used for Trelane's dad in the previous
Oh,
episode?
it has to be. I bet you it is.
It did sound very, very close. If it wasn't,
But doesn't this remind you of those psychedelic puzzles that if you cross your eyes, it turns into like a 3D picture of something?
Looks like a kaleidoscope.
I was going to say kaleidoscope, because I remember as a kid, look through there and spin it, and it'd all be those different colours going everywhere.
I had one of those. It's like, hey kid, do you want to see what it looks like to be on acid? Look into this thing.
Hi, Alexandra Sundu. We're talking Trek. We're talking the original series episode, Arena, which features the first appearance of the Gorn and the Metron, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. It's understandable. Arena is a classic sci-fi episode, which is actually compelling to watch because it's just Kirk and the Gorn. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool how they get down to that in this episode. Wait, I had to watch that fight and almost broke me. Oh, there's some always interesting stuff going on.
Well,
Alexander doesn't like the old stuff.
That's right.
It does show its age a little bit watching that, but I still dig it. I like the costume. I like the look of the Gorn. I like the slow-mo punches. I wouldn't change anything in it.
I swear this is not a shot of Captain Kirk's bottom, it's a shot of the Metrons, so, or the Metron, I should put. Hold on, let me. The Metron. There we go. Save. All right, so here's the Metron. I know we're skipping around, but I wanted to talk since we were on the subject of the Metrons. Another like epic being in Star Trek. Star Trek the original series season 1 so far has like a ton of these like, ethereal, powerful beings that can, manipulate you and do all sorts of like crazy things with the environment and so on and so forth. So what did you guys think about the Metron?
Yeah, it does set up a recurring pattern of these godlike energy beings that are all knowing and all powerful.
I didn't really think that the Metron, like the whole thing with like they're saying that like neither the Gorn nor the various species of the Federation are civilized and of high intelligence, yet their solution is to just destroy. Like at the end, the Metron's like, well, I can just destroy the Gorn ship for you if you like. And Captain Kirk
I
has
think
to
he was
like,
testing him though. He wanted to see what he would
you
say.
think so?
Yeah.
By the way, the Metron is a character whose gender is unknown, but played by a female actor whose name is Carolyn Berry. She lived from 1943 to 2015, and she's also plays an engineer. I have a picture of that somewhere on TNG. So she comes back here. Let me see if I can find that one. Where are you, Carolyn? I have you here. I have you here. Did you guys know about that? Carolyn Berry was that the Metron was played by.
Yeah.
I knew it was played by a woman. I didn't know that she came back in TNG as a different.
No,
character.
I didn't know that either. No, I didn't know that. I wasn't aware. But I did know. Did you notice though? Some of these it was all very Roman. Oh right, yeah.
Oh, she was the chief engineer back in season 1 when they like kept changing the chief engineer every episode.
Oh, nice that she got it. Just lists her as an engineer, so I didn't realize that. But she's an
ensign. That's
so
in the Naked Time, right?
They had a chief. That's a different chief engineer that you're thinking of.
The Naked Now. Okay, who is?
Yeah. This character seems to be an ensign, which I think if you're bringing back Star Trek, first of all, I just have a little critique here. If you're bringing Star Trek royalty back, like someone who played like
is
an
it
original
royalty
series,
to be the Metron in one scene?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. It's totally that's royalty as far as I'm concerned.
If that's royalty, then what would you call like James Doohan? Like, isn't he like royalty when he comes back?
He's a god. He's a Q. He's like, and mind you, I'm not sure they treated him so well on TNG either, giving him an episode where he's meant to look inept and like sad and like out of touch and stuff like that. So I don't know how. I had drunk. Yeah, like come on, what the hell? Like it's true. It's true.
He's like an old washed up drunk guy who's talking about how like when he was in high school and like they went to the state championship when he on his football team, and it's like, give it a break, man. You're past your prime.
At minimum, she should have been a lieutenant commander at minimum, in my opinion. So that's a bad move on your part, Rick. I blame you, Rick Berman. I blame you for that one. But no, anyways,
okay. Here's the episode Home Soil, it looks like.
Oh, okay. That's the one with the crystal creature, the
ugly bags of mostly water.
Mostly water, yeah. That's a cool episode. It's a really good episode.
Well, that episode was We'll Always Have Paris.
Wait, what's that?
Is that one called?
That's with Picard's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Carolyn Berry, very cool. When I found out she was in TNG, I enjoyed that they did that.
And Bobby Clark plays the Gorn. He'll come back later this season of the original series in Return of the Archons. He's the guy who's yelling "Festival, Festival" during the Red Hour.
That's right.
Yeah.
It also lists that there were a couple of uncredited people. There's like 4 people who played the Gorn. So Ted Cassidy,
The
was
voice.
the Gorn voice. Yep, and then someone named Gary Combs and Bill Blackburn also were in there. And the design of the Gorn, I forget the name of the designer, but he's not their usual designer. I thought it was someone neat. Um, let's talk about the Gorn Captain for a second. What did you guys think of the design of the Gorn, and how does it hold up from like maybe your childhood, if you were exposed to it at first in your childhood, or whatnot?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's there. I think the only thing that really doesn't stand the test of time is the slow fighting. It really doesn't, because everybody knows sort of you see it, you can think lizards are really quick moving and everything else, but to sit there and just go like that, it just doesn't. But yeah, I mean in the rebits, I mean, as I said, and the remastered, they gave
added
him
eyelids.
eyelids to give that little bit. So yeah, I mean, the design itself is a lizard, so the design's still quite good.
Yeah.
But as I said, I think the only bit is the slow moving. I would have expected it to be very quick movements, but over distances, be like an alligator, where it can really go quickly, but only for a short distance. A short distance. But I think we talked about it last week, wasn't it? It was the director just took it to a complete extreme because they were going to try and speed it up, but they went too slow.
I do think that despite all of that, like, this is my favorite Gorn design. Like, I've seen a couple since. Like, I saw that horrific Kelvin Godzilla Gorn
From the video game.
From the video game.
And they did it in the comic book too. They brought it back to the comic.
I saw the one. I haven't seen the episode, but I have an image here also, I think of the Gorn from Enterprise, and I think they didn't that didn't land well for me. I think they got it wrong completely. I think they should have made them truer to this design that we see here. But this is
that's
the
from the Mirror
Enterprise,
Darkly, wasn't it? That was the Gorn from the Mirror Darkly.
but still, I mean, it's okay. I guess you're right. If it's a mirror episode, then they can be however you want. But like, I would have.
I mean, they look more similar than a lot of Klingons we've seen, or even some Trill.
Good point. Very good point. But did they fix? I haven't seen this Enterprise episode. Did they fix the speed? Excuse me, guys. The speed thing.
Yeah, it's quicker than the TOS one.
Interesting. Very interesting. And then, of course, there's hold on me. Sorry, guys. This is a lot. This is why I usually don't show images during the stream. I'm like, rah! what do I do? But I just love this episode. So I was compelled to. Oh, that was something else. That was not.
That came from your personal stash.
No. So I was searching for Metron cosplay. No joke, if you type on Google, I'm so embarrassed right now. If you type on Google, I don't know how it ended up in that folder. If you type Metron cosplay on Google, do it right now and do an image search. That's the number one hit. And I'm like, why is that Metron? Like, what does it have to do with Metron? Like, I couldn't understand, so I had to download it. But what you saw was a gender swap cosplay of Han Solo and Princess Leia.
In Sohal's defense, he did put it on Twitter.
I did put it. See, I was doing research. See, it was research, guys. That was totally research.
Yeah.
But where's my image that I wanted to show you? Hold on. Oh gosh, I have it here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. This is in Star Trek Discovery. They had a Gorn skeleton.
Yeah.
It looks right. It looks like the arena Gorn.
I agree. I was very pleased with that. And so
that was in Lorca's
menagerie.
Office, menagerie thing. Yeah.
Did you see what I did there? Lorca's menagerie.
Yeah. That's what they called it. But I thought that was a good way to like have your cake and eat it too, because they don't want to show too much of the Gorn in that time period before they've made first contact with them here in this episode. But okay, well maybe like they found like this dead body on a planet or something, and like they kept it to investigate it or something like that. Like the audience will know what it is.
Burnham seems to know who the Gorn are in the 32nd century. So
Does she though? Because Book is like,
you're right.
The
It's kind of
Gorn
vague.
punched a hole in subspace, and she's like, they did what?
Yeah, it's true. She doesn't ask who the Gorn are, but she doesn't say that she knows them either. It's true.
No.
Metrons are not godlike aliens that use humans as playthings, while New Trek gods seem to take pains to use their powers with care. That's interesting.
They're kind of Q-like in a way, where Q is like, oh, you're a primitive little savage race, but then like eventually Picard convinces them like, well, maybe you do have potential. I'll be watching.
That's definitely there. I saw that. Oh, look, who's this? A cat friend has joined us. Hello. Oh, it's like, oh, we love cats on Starfleet Boy, so thank you. The Guardian, Zora, and even the Telosians to some extent seem to have humanity's best interests at heart, or otherwise hide from us. I think the Telosians would be dubious, but yeah, I think so.
I mean, you've got to go with the Greek look. I mean, I said the Roman bit. It's sort of like they're dressed up like Romans. They don't like what's going on, but then they put them in it's a gladiatorial games type thing with Kirk versus the Gorn. So there's sort of that little bit.
We see the spectator side of it. Like Kirk, I mean not Kirk, but Spock and McCoy are watching it on the view screen, so it does have like that spectator element.
Yeah.
I really thought one of the things, going back to the Gorn and how slow they are, one of the things that does seem to work in favor of that is that, just like in role-playing games, you can compensate for the lack of one attribute by having an abundance of another one, and the Gorn seem like a tank. Like, it took a lot to really injure it, right? Like a boulder fell on it, and it just like shook it off, right? Like it just like.
I like when Kirk has to struggle to pick up that little rock. I mean, it's not little, but it's like the size of his head, and throws it at the Gorn, and then he picks up like the one like the size of a car and throws it up to him.
Yeah. And the one you're saying about the boulders, the one thing that made me sort of laugh is where Kirk's right at the top of Vasquez Rock, and he pushes that boulder off, and it drops about 100 feet or whatever, and it lands on the Gorn, but the dust comes right up Kirk's face,
like right away.
No, it's never going to do that. It's never going to do that.
It's true. I actually noticed that same exact thing when I was watching it. That's really funny. But yeah, like you need to like launch basically projectile diamonds at it to even pierce its skin, and then he's got that, of course, that sharpened like
knife
thing, the phallus, like whatever it is, like that he's it's like a knife, I guess. And I don't even know if he would have pierced, although there's a little drop of blood on there, but
yeah, you can see where like the diamonds are like stabbed into the Gorn, and they put blood on there. You'd think it would have like tough leathery skin. It looked good, like the rubber material, whatever they made the suit out of, like the way that like the back of the knee where you see like the crease in it when like he's walking. It's like it kind of looks like what skin would look like. The only part that looked really bad was like where the ankles connect to the feet. There's like a gap there. It looks a little off, but the rest of it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Here's the iconic photo. I gotta put that up there.
The Gorn with the wind.
I never heard Gorn with the wind. That's the best thing ever.
What about Gorn to be wild?
Gorn to be wild. Sorry, there's
somebody has done that, and they've got the credits like Gone with the Wind, but it is Gorn with the Wind, and it's there. It's
Gorn to be wild and Gorn. I need a t-shirt. Damn it, I need a t-shirt. For sure, I need a t-shirt. That's amazing. Very good. Very good. Bringing that to our attention here, Ian. You win. I don't know what you win. Speaking of winning, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, today. What time is that over across the pond?
It's going to be 11:30
11:30
UK
p.m.
time.
UK time. We're going head to head. All the captains are coming back to A Question of Trek, and we're doing a special holiday special where we're gonna duke it out, every captain for themselves. So I look forward to defeating all of you there. And so audience, come
Apparently,
and check us out.
according to it, it's a cash prize as well.
That's right. I am letting you know now that I am already donating, if I win, my cash prize to charity. So audience, let us know if there's. I feel like Conti should get the cash prize, so he'll be my charity. He's been through a lot.
Well,
so
he does need a new car. He does need a new car now. He smashes up.
So maybe that's what I'll do. If I win, that's what I'll do. I'll donate it to Conti. But I do plan to win, just FYI. Any more thoughts on the Gorn, Captain Kirk, and the Vasquez rocks, the fight scene basically, at the planet there?
Well, I thought the Gorn made a mistake. I mean, the Gorn had the right opportunity to kill Kirk, and then it moves the rock out the way, and he gets up and runs away. So, if he just there and stabbed him, that would have been it. It would have been over. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of more interesting bits. We said Ted Cassidy did the voice of the Gorn. Do you know what other voice that he did in Star Trek?
No.
He did Balok.
Oh, cool.
He did the voice of Balok in the Corbomite maneuver, and obviously he was in. He was what our little girl's made of as well. He was the big.
Oh wow.
The big bit, where Kirk's got the big phallus in that one.
Yeah, that one's the dick rock, as it's known.
Yeah, so Ted Cassidy he'd done two voices. There's obviously Gorn and Balok.
Here, Mythbusters did this, tried to recreate this this thing, and it was not possible apparently.
No, it just explodes. He got nowhere near it. Yeah, that was Grant and Horror, and the three of them tried to do that.
Rest in peace, Grant Imahara, who's pretty amazing Trekkie as well. I actually like
Sulu.
What's that?
I actually like Grant as Sulu. If you've ever seen Star Trek,
in Star Trek Continues, he's fantastic. Yeah, it's true. He's really great. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. I like that the Gorn Captain could hear the whole time. Like Captain Kirk's just broadcasting his raw thoughts.
I can hear you.
I guess he missed the part because the Metron does explain you'll be able to hear each other, right? Isn't there a scene where it's explained that and so
they did say recording device.
Did they? I thought they said something like a translate. I don't know. I felt like maybe
he was just trying to leave a he's just trying to leave a captain's log so that the people who are coming back from the commercial break know what the hell's going on. That's what he always does.
But the whole time, and then finally the Gorn Captain's like, I could hear you the whole time.
The thing is that he goes to Kirk's face. He's going, for Christ's sake.
I also like that the whole time he's hissing and stuff, but then he finally speaks English at the end.
Yeah.
So it's that's kind of funny.
I get the impression that it's kind of hard for them to speak English, and that's why it has to go through that translation. That's why it sounds so animal-like. It's iconic. I like it. It's a cool sound.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. Yeah, there's a few other things that people. I don't know how they thought that it wouldn't get picked up on, like Kirk's boots. They changed from the normal slip-on boots to boxer boots with long black socks, because he completely changed the sort of trainer type things for do that. So and of course. And it's amazing how Kirk had the limp for second half of it all going on, and then as soon as he gets back on the Enterprise, he's fine.
Well, the transporter fixes things like that. Like,
It must be.
Yeah, that's what it must be, right?
Yeah.
Alexandra and Stress 3K are having an interesting conversation about like higher powered beings and how they're portrayed, and there's like something about like how nowadays like the younger generation, I suppose, prefers a more benevolent and kinder godlike creature or godlike being rather than like these like punishing, parent like. And that stress free K is because we have passed the dawning of the age of Aquarius, which was supposed to bring truth and light into the world, and that happened sometime in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, with musicals like Hair. Okay, sorry.
I do wonder if they like say they did this episode in Next Generation or something. Like you would use Q for something like this. Like, oh,
Yeah,
this is a
Q
trial.
kind of became
I'm gonna put you through.
I guess at some point the Q eliminated all these other beings because the Q seems to have a monopoly on godlike powers.
Yeah, because John Delancey was a fan favorite character, and so they were like, "We're gonna bring him back every year."
And I'm not complaining about that. I love it.
But they did. I mean, the Metrons did say several thousand years that we'll come back and we'll talk at the end of it.
They're basically like,
they're
don't
just going to
call us,
ignore.
we'll call you.
We'll call you. Hey, we already got the Guardian in Star Trek Discovery. Maybe we'll get a Metron appear possibly in Star Trek Discovery as well. I would not be opposed to seeing a Metron again. That would be interesting.
Yeah. But it did sort of when Kirk said, "Oh, in 1,000 years we'll be there, and maybe they'll do that." And then you look at Discovery, which is over 900 years after. You think, no, human race is screwed regardless. It's just we had that nice bit through the TNG area and all that stuff, but we just went back downhill again.
When I told a friend of mine in California that I was watching this episode, she said, "Oh, you mean the one with the toga party twink?" So I had to put that in there. I like shiny toga party.
That's the most
accurate
memorable thing from this episode, I suppose.
Yeah.
Actually, no, the Gorn. It's got two memorable things as far as I'm concerned, because the Gorn and the Metron are both interesting. And that's the other thing. Again, this episode's really great because it really does hold up. There's a lot going on in it, and it holds up. I think it's a great episode as far as defining this kind of. There's the shiny toga.
Yeah, I think this is one of the few episodes that really sort of stands up in pop culture because of the Gorn. I think probably because it was so badly acted for whatever, and it's quite there. But I think because of that, it's entered pop culture. So a lot of people sort of they see that and they associate it with Star Trek. So
yeah, and there's even we saw on the after discussion last week, we watched that commercial with Captain that we talked about earlier for the video game with William Shatner and the Gorn going at it, and that was really fun. So I highly recommend you guys watch that. I wanted to end with this image because I think it's just so iconic, and there's the Vasquez rocks, which we'll see again, but yeah, this is like the most kind of iconic image in my mind from this episode.
Is this the first time Vasquez Rock is used in Star Trek?
I want to say
yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
it's used many times again, so that's why I'm a little confused, because I'm like, oh, I've seen it now. We've seen it like, the most recent use was what in Star Trek Picard.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Lower Decks recreated it.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
And great saying about Lower Decks. Great news for UK and Europe and the rest of the world. We are getting it on Amazon Prime next year.
I heard about that. That's amazing. Look at that's fathery. That was a fun scene too, by the way, with the sticks. With he
Yeah.
grabs like a like a branch, like a heavy branch, and Captain Kirk has like a little
Twig.
like basically a twig. It's like really funny as well. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Let's see. I love TNG and will till the day I die. Aw, no matter how dated it becomes. I feel the same about TOS as well, but I do TNG is my favorite, so I agree with you on that one. Let's see.
I think most people tend to view them with sort of rose tinted glasses. We all do. We all do it. We look at TOS with rose tinted. People who love people who love TNG think but there are plenty of poor episodes in TNG that you can turn around and say.
Yeah, we talked about one. We had a whole panel on what is it called? Why can't I remember that awful episode's name? That
What, the racist one?
Yeah, even Jonathan Frakes is like, wipe that episode off the face
Code
of
of Honor.
the planet.
Code of Honor.
Thank you. Let's see here. Maybe a Metron will, with a little side cheek showing for good measure. Oh, I wonder if they were in the background of in Westworld. That would be interesting if they were there, the Metrons as an Easter egg. All right, guys, what do you guys? I guess it's time to give our final thoughts and rate this episode. Again, just iconic. I think this is one of my favorite episodes from when I was a kid. I really loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the Gorn. I used to imagine easily running away from them, but it was still scary.
Yeah. Well, it's the first time we had something that really didn't look like you or me. It was one of the few aliens that really did come out.
Right.
Other than the salt vampire, I guess. But yeah, it was it was very it was one of those moments of like, oh wow, could an alien really look like that and that kind of stuff. Of course, I guess the TV miniseries, maybe those were Gornish.
Well, I think it inspired a lot of other stuff. That idea of a lizard man is kind of like an old classic alien idea, but after they did the Gorn here, I think it inspired The Empire Strikes Back when they have Bosk, I think they're called Transoceans.
Oh, right on.
They're lizard men. Yeah, and they even give him a close up, and I think they were trying to show off their look how much better our lizard man looks than Star Trek lizard.
So I'm gonna take a cue from Stress VK and give it Gorn eggs, just like Father does his Gorn eggs at the end of Text Trek discussions. So I give this 10 Gorn eggs out of 10. It's a winner all the way for me. Really, I know it has a lot of flaws, but I look at them through those green colored tinted glasses of sentimentality, and I really love them. So all right, on to you guys.
I'll give it 9.5 blue balls out of 10.
That's some balls. That really is some balls.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a high rating for blue balls, Father. It's really good.
I think this is a quintessential Star Trek episode. I think this is a great one to show somebody who is what is Star Trek the original series like? You can show them this one. It has the action, it has the ethos, the morality, and it has a goofy rubber suit, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm going to give it 9 Gorn balls. So we've got the Gorn eggs, we've got the balls. So confirm there, we got 9 Gorn balls.
There we
go. Best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds. Well, thank you. That was really really fun. Everyone, please go check out Ian at TrekCat on YouTube, where he does awesome builds with Legos. There's the apropos for this discussion. Behind him, there's the original Enterprise, the 1701. Right there, and a bunch of other nice little Gorn eggs back there. And then, of course, check out Fathery on Text Trek. And you can also check him out here, obviously. You can check both of them out here. And we look forward to seeing you next week when it's the alternative factor, right? Is that the next
I think
episode?
tomorrow is yesterday.
Oh, tomorrow's yesterday. Okay, sorry. Thank you. So
Our
tomorrow
first
is
true time travel episode.
the slingshot, right? That's the first
Yeah.
instance of yeah. It's cool. I'm looking forward to that. All right. Anything else you guys want to promote before we go?
Just again to say, tonight you and I are back on Question of Trek.
That's right.
Tonight as the returning captains,
So
and
check
it's
us
this
out in
four captains, and it is the captains episode tonight.
just 2.5 hours from now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I did that right.
Yes.
The math. I'm so terrible at the math.
And also,
by the way,
people should check out Jesse Gender's
holiday
Christmas
special.
video,
Yes.
holiday special video that just came out.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I mean, you're both on that. You're both there. But
We're in the post credits spectacular.
I watched it. I did put up and said, if you've not seen it, the first question is why? Why haven't you seen it? It is fantastic. It's brilliant.
Fantastic.
Steve Shives does great. He's great in it as well. So excellent. Give it a watch, even if it's just for these two.
For sure, give it a watch. We read the script, but I had no idea how it was going to turn out. It is delightful. I really loved the way it was edited together. Kowalski, I won't spoil it, but Kowalski does a great job in that segment, and I learned a lot. And it was a really good thesis presented about Star Trek and the inclusion of religion. So go check that out. And actually, I'd love to get into a discussion about that with anyone who wants to after you've seen it. So hit me up on Twitter. All right, so guys, live long and prosper, and we will see you next time. Yeah.